This is a follow-up review for the Coleman Montana 6-person tent. If you're interested in seeing more of the setup and first impression review, watch for the slide card in the video. Welcome to Yankees Outdoor Adventures, inspiring you to go outdoors and find your adventure. Today I'm doing a follow-up review on the Montana 6. This is a Coleman product. First of all, I'd like to point out I'm not affiliated with the Coleman company at all. I do these reviews with products that I receive not for exchange of doing the reviews, but products that I receive as gifts from family members or friends, or things that I purchase myself. The Coleman Montana 6 is nearly a $200 tent. And if you're here to see more of a first impression and a setup review of this product, I have one of them also. All you need to do is follow the slide card at the top of the screen. But for this video here, I had put the tent to the test. Today I will definitely be pointing out manufacturer flaws and whether or not I believe this is a right purchase for the money. I also have some comparisons for other tents that I have used in the past that were less money, which gave you more room and also have a lot more durable parts, which is what we're going to get into first. So allow me to show you some of the first problems I've encountered. Now, I'm not going to take this off right now and show you because I'm using this and I try to move it as little as possible. But in week one of having the tent up, fiberglass pole cracked and is damaged to the point to where it bends way too much. I did tape it, but there's no replacement pole, or I'll have to send off for a replacement pole. Definitely something that I would have expected to last more than 1 week. I do believe it's important I point out before I go any further, most people don't use a tent the way I use one, and I put a tent through its fullest use. I set a tent up late spring, and other than moving it through campsites, I stay in the tent all summer long. So I actually put a tent through a lot of severe weather. There's no shortage of bad windstorms, heavy rains, and so far the Coleman hasn't had any leaks. So this isn't a 100% negative video. If you think I'm being too hard on Coleman because I put the tent through such a test, allow me to point out that in hurricane situations where people become relocated and live in conditions like this, homeless tent cities along sidewalks where people spend what little money they have for something that they think will last them for a couple months. And that's the type of test I put these tents through. So let's continue the review. We're halfway into the summer season. This tent has 11 guidelines. It comes with 11 lines to help hold the tent down. That's not a complaint. That's actually a bonus. However, just this far into the season, these guidelines, oh, that's how fragile they are. You see, I did not pull very hard on that at all. All this dust comes flying off of it. Hey, Coleman, is that stuff safe to breathe? These are the lines that they're providing with the tent. Again, a person spends a little extra money for a tent so that they don't have to have all the extra things. Can I replace these? Well, yes, of course I can, and I've already replaced most of them. And on the topic of replacing them, let me bring your attention to this particular line right here. This particular line, because this line has a little bit of a story behind it. Now, not this line here. This is one of the originals. Again, one of the originals. Oh, look at that. One of the original lines that come with the tent. This line, however, it comes with a story. So let me tell you the story. 3 years ago, this line was attached to a brand new Ozark Trail Walmart tent for under $100. Again, this tent is nearly $200. I used that tent for 2 full summers. And then it had a catastrophic fail with a branch that fell through the tent. It wasn't a fault of the tent. It was the fault of Mother Nature at best. The day the tent fell and got destroyed, this particular guideline got left behind. It laid on the ground all winter long, and it laid on the ground until late spring when I came to this campsite to set up. I noticed it, and I threw it up over a tree branch, and there it hung for another 90 days almost until I needed to use it here as a guideline. I cannot break that one like I can break this one. Ozark Trail. Between the fiberglass pole and the guidelines, I consider that catastrophic failure for someone who was relying on this tent, for someone who felt they were going to get what they paid for, so they paid up, opposed to buying a cheap Walmart Ozark Trail tent. They stepped up their game and bought something that they could rely on. And I want it to be known that your reliability may not be in much of the extras that come with the tent when it comes to guidelines and when it comes to fiberglass poles. I don't want to be a complete naysayer on the tent. I have had no leaks so far, but that may say more for the way I am treating the canvas than it does for the Coleman company itself. In addition to that, there are some positives about this tent. This tent has no bottom corner seam. They seamed the bottom canvas about 4 to 6 inches high around the entire tent. The worst place a tent will leak is at that ground level, and there's always a seam right there on that ground level, but not with this tent. And I believe in that perspective, it's superior. But the superior stops there right quick. In my honest opinion, if you're buying a 6-person tent, you can do better for size. This is a really small 6-person tent. Honestly, the smallest 6-person tent I have ever used. The Ozark Trail has more room. The Ozark Trail has more headroom. If you're 5 foot tall, you'll be fine. If all your friends are shorter than you, y'all have a great party in there. Maybe you'll stand up and dance. If you're 6 foot tall like myself, this tent is terrible. You're constantly bent over. Not in the Ozark Trail. At least in the middle of it, you have a place to stand. Price is, that's a given right there. Without a doubt, you'll have a better time if you have to stay a length of time in the Ozark Trail opposed to this Coleman. Coleman Company, I'd love to hear from you. Check your email. You'll see that you found this video in your email sent from Yankees Outdoor Adventures to the Coleman Company. I want some new guidelines, and I want some explanations on the fiberglass poles. Until our trails meet again, I hope all your adventures are awesome. Don't get ripped off, guys. Be careful what you buy. Renishita for watching.